evening from Vietnam. Good afternoon to you, Gabriele. Thanks a lot for spending your afternoon time joining our Inside Sharing and share your stories to our global audience. And on behalf of the listeners around the world, we want to say thank you.
Hello, and thank you for having me.
Now, Gabriele, your wife, Julie, and Bianca now have a new family, new friend in Vietnam. So if you decide to travel to this part of the world, you let us know. We would be so happy to take you guys around, show you our beautiful city and the amazing people here, okay?
Thank you very much. Can't wait.
Okay. And for a little taste of our culture, it's very honored if we can having you to share a little bit about who you are and the works you are doing. Would you please do that?
Yes, of course. I'm the owner of Vivo, which is a benefit corporation based in Italy. And we aim to give the 20% of our profits, net profits, to projects for the community and the environment. That's why we are a benefit corporation. It's not a kind of corporation you can find anywhere in the world, but Italy was one of the first countries introducing that in 2015. And we try to enlighten the managers out there, especially those in Italy. And we work with B2B medium companies in the industrial manufacturing industries. And we help them with marketing and communication, especially to give them the opportunity to narrate their identity, because companies, they are always most always focused on the product or service, and they forget to tell who they are. So the vision, the mission, the purpose, and that is what nowadays brings the most to the reputation, right? So brand reputation is no more about product, it's about who you are and what kind of impact you can do to the world.
Wow. Gabriele, you have an amazing journey that you introduced to us in less than 90 seconds. And that's not fair, okay? It's not fair for our audience. So the conversation tonight is designed to understand more of who you are and to understand more about the works you are doing. And we're going to talk about the books that you write. The most recently is the Enlightened Management, okay?
Yes.
So let's travel time.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me start with a story.
Okay.
Because most of the people ask me how I met Philip Kotler and how happened that we work together, right? So I didn't go to the university, or at least I tried, let's say, and then it wasn't for me. So I'm not the kind of guy who studied everything, including Kotler, at the university. But starting a company which was about marketing, I felt immediately like I needed to learn something, because I was good in building websites. But with my business partners, we decided that the company should have a more strategic approach. So if you want to go to learn about marketing strategy, I think Philip Kotler's book, especially Marketing Management by I don't remember the publisher, but anyway, but Marketing Management is the one who everyone is reading all over the world since the 60s or the 70s, right? Actually, I have a first edition copy signed by Philip, because I found that on eBay, and in May I went to see him in Florida, and he wrote a dedication. Anyway, I was studying Philip Kotler in that book, Marketing Management. Pearson is the publisher now, I have it in mind. So I decided to go on and study more. So I bought a lot of books, not only by Philip. And in 2017, since I am also a journalist, in Italy you need to be part of the order of the journalist to be a journalist. It's not like in other parts of the world that you just write and you are a journalist. I'm part of the order of the journalist here in Italy. So I was invited in Milan to attend an event with Philip, and I went there earlier, and I went to the desk, and they said, I'm a journalist, you see, I have a badge as a journalist, I want to interview Philip Kotler. And of course they said, yes, you are a journalist, you have the badge, but we don't know you, so you are not going to interview Philip Kotler. So I was kind of sad, but of course it was just a try. I spent the whole day listening to him and other speakers, and then in the afternoon I saw that the speaker room, which was also the press room, it wasn't like unavailable because it was a small event. So I tried to go there and ask, I'm a journalist. You see, I have the badge as a journalist. Please allow me to interview him. And they said, of course, no. But I pushed. No. Yes, I pushed and I pushed, and then I saw a woman who was pregnant, 7 months pregnant, which was exactly the same time of my wife. So my wife also, she was waiting for Julia, 7 months. And it happened that she was the press leader in charge. So in 2 minutes, I told her, oh, you must be tired because, you're pregnant and my wife is also pregnant. So we became best friends in like 2 minutes. And she said, okay, Gabriel, if you want, if there is still time and Philip is not so tired, at the end of every interview, you can have like 2 minutes with him. And so I waited all the day. And at the end, I was very lucky because I had 30 minutes with him instead of all other very famous journalists that had only 5 minutes. The big television journalists, they had only 5 minutes. I happened to have 30 minutes because he was relaxing, he was eating a biscuit, he was taking a coffee. And of course I was there to interview him, but also to give him some of my works, because I was already working on something which is called the marketing distinguo, which is a process to design your differentiation in marketing. And 2 years later, also, that concept became a card deck, which I should have here somewhere. But anyway, I have the book, which is this one, Beyond the Price Jungle. So this year became also a book, but the Marketing Distinguo card deck was awarded as one of the 3 best marketing innovation in the world in 2019. So with that first encounter with Philip, I had already something good to share with him, and he said, "Oh, good, very nice. Let's keep in touch." So I kept in touch with him. Also in 2018, he came to Italy, in Bologna, which is near where I live. So I met him again, and then in 2019, he was in Rome. It was the last time because then COVID happened, and so Philip is not traveling anywhere in the world since 2020. And I gave him the card deck, and he was enlightened. He was enthusiastic about that. And they said, let's write a book together on the marketing distinguo. He said no, but I tried to keep in touch, and then we have worked on other stuff. And exactly in this book, Beyond the Price Jungle, there is a quote by him. He said, a new theory, but also a process to finally come to the differentiation you need. So this book, you can find a guide to differentiate your business. And then I went to visit him in Sarasota in Florida in May. And we had a very nice time. He's very handy and brilliant. Also, he's 93. So, an old person that still have a lot of energy. And I shared with him some ideas of a new kind of marketing. So a kind of marketing that doesn't go to the profit, but I want companies to work for the common good, to create an impact to the community and the environment. And then he wrote me back when I was back to Italy, and he said, okay, we should write a book together and call it Enlightened Management. And it should focus on small and medium enterprises, because those are the companies that can make the big change. Because big companies, yes, they can lead the way, they can spread the news, but it's these small and medium enterprises that have the hands of the market, right?
Volumes, yes. Wow, Gabriel, thanks a lot for sharing the behind-the-scene journey of so many years. It's 7 years already on the way of connecting with Philip, and now you get, and then you really came every time really preparing, pushing the boundary to get what you want. And when I read
Yes.
your profile, it was fascinating with the journey that you have been, and that's why I say, okay, let's have you onto the show. Let's have you to share your story from the beginning, because what we want for this program is for the people to know more of you. They see you, who you are at the moment, the founder of Vivo, and the book author, and the one that have small, medium sized enterprises to build their identity, right? To build their strategy. But they would never know, or hardly know about the journey that leading to what you are doing now, right? So when I was little, I always fascinated to becoming an astronaut. All right, life didn't give me any opportunity to do that, except I was able to interview many astronauts, and one of the men that I interviewed was among the 12 people ever walked on the moon on the Apollo mission. He's the youngest man out of the 12 people that walked on the moon. So when you were little, what was your dream about yourself in the future, the works you are going to do, Gabriel?
Well, actually, I wasn't that kind of kid. I mean, of course, when I was very little, be astronaut or being a knight, a medieval knight, it was a dream. But when I grown up, it was very difficult to me to understand what I was going to do in my future. In fact, I was going to high school, which I didn't finish, and then I switched to another one because I wasn't really sure what to do. The second high school, which I finished, it is the school of Ferrari, the supercar, because I live near Maranello, where Ferrari was born and still is. And my father had a garage, so a car repair company, very small company, and he with his two brothers, they were lead the small company, and I didn't know what to do actually. So I said, okay, I go to this Ferrari school, so at least I have something, I learned something that could be useful to take care of the business of my father and my uncles. And then I also worked with him 1 year, but it was terrible because it is not good, at least my experience, not good to work with your father. And then I decided to start my own company because I was fascinated about internet, about building website, about communication, about graphics, and then about marketing. So I think that it wasn't a dream, but it happened meanwhile, we can say.
So starting your own company and using your skill in web design, and one day you move it on to the marketing field, and your headline on LinkedIn is say working on the next 100 years of marketing. And a lot of us don't know what happened tomorrow or the week later, and then you have a vision of working on something for the next 100 years. Tell us, where did you come in with that kind of vision or dreams?
Well, first of all, is about the age of Philip, which is 93. It will turn 94 in May next year. So almost 100 years. So I thought, okay, if he was working on the first 100 years, we can say I try to work on the next 100 years. So that was the idea. But also because it happened that I started to study economics, not only marketing, and specifically what we call in Italy civil economics, which is not very known around the world because it's a kind of economics which was taking place before the Industrial Revolution. So in the 70, yes, 7000. So Italy has always had a kind of businesses which were in relation, a network of businesses. If we go back before the Renaissance, they were not industries, of course, they were merchants, but they were very connected with the community. And that kind of way of doing business was lost during the Industrial Revolution. So I wanted to bring back those values and try to put it in this context, which is running very fast about capitalism, but also capitalism has a very nice identity which changes through time. So we are not in the same capitalism as we were in the first industrial revolution, of course. Capitalism changes. It has a continuous and constant metamorphosis during time. And I think now it is the time to go back to those values, which were also those values who bring Italy to the Renaissance, which was unique in the history and in the world. Mm-hmm. So I think we should bring those values into current marketing and trying to shift it into something different for the next 100 years.
Wow. Wow. When you were in high school, you burst in tears because you don't know, how the future is going to hold for you. And you had the mentality, Gabriele, that you start something and then you realize that you missed something on the way, so that you went back to school to look for information like that. So where did you come and build that mentality for yourself?
I think something was already there. My father was very, how to say, he had a strong character. He was an entrepreneur, very small entrepreneur, but still an entrepreneur. So I think something I got from him. And then, well, I think it's my final goal that gave me that character. I want to leave a sign in the history. Maybe marketing or management is not the best way to do that, but it is what I'm doing and I like to do. So that is what keeps me working every day with the same passion.
I think the opportunity, is going in front of our eyes to everybody, right? And then you've been able to connect the Renaissance, history, and connecting the past to the present to find what's missing, once really unique and only happened in your country, right? Now bring it back. So when you share the ideas to the other people around you, what would they think?
Well, it's not a time where companies are a lot focusing on sustainability, and that's how helps a lot. So it's kind of the same path. So I'm trying to leveraging these times where companies are focusing on sustainability to bring their attention on people, because when you talk about sustainability in the English-speaking countries, especially, their idea of sustainability is we need to understand what is happening out there, what are the changes in the environment, in the politics, and so on, and to measure how they can affect our profits. So this is the more or less the idea of sustainability in USA and UK, or anyway, English-speaking countries. In Europe, especially in Italy, it's the other way around. So a company, when thinks about sustainability, we think about how can we less impact in a negative way the environment and the community, and more how we can generate positive impact to the community and the environment. So it's a very different approach. On one side, I understand how sustainability issues, they can affect my business, and in another way, we understand how we can create a positive impact to the community and the environment. And I think this way, which is the Italian way, that we can say more in general the European way, it is very aligned with the enlightened management or impact marketing. And there is a lot of people understanding that. Still is a slow process, but I think we can get there.
So the idea of writing the book, you discussed that with Philip back in May this year.
Yes.
But you had that idea long before that. So you came to the US with preparations already and you shared with him, right? So what was the original idea that you shared to Philip?
Yeah, I had in mind this this concept we put also in the cover, which is people times purpose times planet equals prosperity, which is remind the 4 P's of marketing. And to be honest, I had already in May some stuff written, which I have presented to Pope Francis back last year. So I have the chance to meet Pope Francis 2 times, last year and this year. And last year I was proposing Pope to write a foreword for this book I had in mind. It was just a draft. Pope Francis said no. And so when I met Philip, I said, you know, I have already this stuff written. It can be something. Let's do it together. And he said yes. Actually, this year I got from Pope Francis a comment on another book I wrote with other people, which is about civil economy. So we got actually a very positive comment from Pope Francis about that book. And I also asked a few days ago, I sent an email to the Pope Francis, secretary, and asking for a comment on this book as well, and we see what happens. Everything was starting from the concept of putting people at the center. So people, the person should be at the center of the business. So not the product, but the person. Not only the person. Person elevated by his or her purpose. This is what we're trying to say, because a person alone is nothing, is empty. If you have a purpose, you are elevated. And if you take care of the planet, then you are elevated at the cubic, P. It's P cubic. I don't know if it's the correct way to say in English. Anyway, people times purpose times planet equals prosperity. So not only profit, but prosperity, which has a larger meaning.
Oh, prosperity. Okay. Alrighty. So when you shared this idea to him, and on your way back, so he sent to you and say, let's write the book together. How did you feel when he said so?
I didn't sleep for one night. And he's very, very active. So it was just 2 days later. It didn't take, 1 week or 1 month to review it. And also when I was then writing with him, first the index and then the few chapters and then other chapters, he was replying like instantly. So I had to run a bit. In fact, we have published this book quite fast, because he's fast, and I felt like I needed to be even faster, because he's 93, I'm 43. I need to be faster somehow. I have also a company to run, but
Wow. So it took few months, like May, you talked to him, so probably start the writing process in June, and the book's already published, so it took about 4 or 5 months to to complete and print it out, right? So along the way, like, share with us who's the audience that will benefiting from reading this book, and why is it benefiting for them?
Well, this book has new concepts on marketing, management, and leadership. Something new you have never seen. So that is going to be the first good point. And it is both a book that is giving you a new point of view, but also some tools. So it's not like you need to act for the common good, go and do it. No. are giving tools. You can use frameworks. You can use tomorrow if you want. So it's very practical, not only inspiring, also practical. There are case studies, not a lot, but a few, because we want to select very important case studies of small and medium enterprises. So nothing maybe you can recognize, but small and medium enterprises that are really doing something for the common good. And there is also something for the technological part of marketing. So we talk, of course, about AI, which is something which happening now, but also about quantum computing, which is something is going to happen in the next few years and will change the world. Also, it will change how AI it is used today, because we think that we have reached a high level for AI. We haven't seen nothing. When quantum computers will happen, AI will change even more. And there is a case in the book about a company who works with, builds and works with quantum computers. So it is very interesting. And then, there is a very nice cover. I'm sorry I don't have the book right now, because it will came to me tomorrow. But I have the original painting, because the cover of the book, and also inside the book you will find some pictures. It is a focus of this butterfly, this blue butterfly made by Master Alvedo Arvedi, which is Italian. He was a marketing manager and now he's an artist, so it was the perfect match. And it is really a beautiful book to see, also something I wanted to be a piece of art. And of course, both Philip and Marshall, they got the book today. I know, because from Amazon I get, you know, the instant feedback, and I will get it tomorrow, which is strange, because, you know, Italy should be near. They are in the US and I'm in Italy. I don't know why they got the book before. I don't know. Anyway. So I think that you will get a new point of view, something you never have seen in any marketing book, something really new, because marketing has a problem, many problems. One of them is that nothing is new since the 60s. This is why everyone is still reading marketing management. Of course, they have the new editions, but the 4 Ps, the SWOT analysis, always it is everything the same. Also the brand positioning, everything is the same since the 60s. This book will bring something really new, and also some frameworks you can use instantly.
Wow, you trigger our curiosity to get copies for ourselves. We will absolutely we do it after this, right? And Gabriele, if you can, I'm going to ask you one question. It's not going to be fair for you again, and this question is about a chapter in the book. So you know, if a book is like a baby, right? So now, if you have to pick up a chapter within the book that you like most and you want to share with our audience, so which chapter is it, and what is that about?
Well, there is a concept which is delivered through all the book, which is the metamorphosis of the company. This is why also a butterfly is on the cover. Because I think that companies are now like caterpillars. So they try to go from a leaf to another for their profit, to sustain themselves. Like a caterpillar just look for leaves to sustain itself. And this is the first, you know, the first stadium of the company. And then the company realizes that it has values. It is about people and not about product. So it creates the pupa. I don't know if is it correct in English, the pupa. So the caterpillar is surrounded by something, no?
I don't know what it's named. Yes.
Pupa is correct, but let me check. Pupa. It is called also It is the second stadium of the metamorphosis, and it is the transition stage, the chrysalis. Okay, that is the word. So it is called pupa or chrysalis. So when you discover that you have the people and the values, you start creating this chrysalis, and you start in the evolution. You start the evolution of your metamorphosis, and only when you reach the full metamorphosis, so the company transforms into a butterfly, it can see, it can fly away and see that there is only not only the tree when it was looking for the leaves, but you have a complete environment, and that you as a company are connected with that environment. So that is the analogy we have in the book, and the one I like the most. And attached to that, the chapter that explains the people, planet, purpose equation, I think it is my favorite.
Oh, wow. Alrighty. So, Gabrielle, you seems to be really late blossom in your life, and the more with time you get wiser, you've been able to see the things that yet been there for since the 60s until now. So what makes you being able to see the things that people don't see?
Well, that was always my one of my good points. So it looks like I'm very good in connecting the dots. But I think you can learn that also by studying, or anyway, reading philosophy. I think philosophy gives you that. Greek philosophy, or even Asian philosophy, Chinese philosophy. I think you can learn how to put things together. And I read a lot about Zen, so how you can reach the illumination, and all the koans, they should be called koans, or the stories, Zen stories that are written to enlighten yourself. And I think that can be learned in that way.
You mentioned one word repeatedly in this conversation is the word think. All right. And my wife and I, we've been very fascinating to understand how people think. And the reason for that is because we believe that our thinking capability has been diminishing. Okay. So for so many noises and distractions out there. So every chance we have, to talk to experts and amazing people like you, we ask these questions. Over the years, Gabrielle, how have you been growing your ability to think?
Well, reading is one point, but you see in the camera, when I speak to you, I look around. It's not because I have other stuff to look at, but it's because my way of thinking is about picturing things. A lot of people is like that, other people is different, but I see things, and when I think, I imagine those things, and that helps me a lot to put everything together. And I don't know, it's just the way I work, I think.
In your book, you talk about the equation, the 4 P's, right? So people, purpose, planet, and then go to prosperity, right?
Yes.
And the end result for those first 3 equations, the 3 things is ending with prosperity. So we want to pick your brain on that. You're the author for that. You want to create that code, that, and in mind. So what is prosperity in your own definition, Gabriel?
But it's, when you talk about sustainability, for example, you always talk about environment, social, and governance. And most of the people say, okay, but companies are built to do profit. So I thought, how do you put everything together? So a good impact, a good generativity to the environment and the community, and then also profit. So I think that prosperity means that the company doesn't have profit as a goal, but as a goal, it should have generativity, so positive impact to the environment and the community, which results in profit. So the profit should be the result of the common good that the company can do.
So profit go after because of, like the first three, and the first three create prosperity, so automatically profit will come, right?
Exactly.
So we traveled the past already. We talked about the book already, and congratulations on that. I am sure that, with your ability to see things that people don't see, connecting the dots, and help people to come up with new ideas, new tools they can use. Definitely, the book is will be welcoming. And thanks for sharing your ideas to help people to get better, and have companies to be, um, more, how do I say, responsible for the bigger picture, right? So, Gabriel, let's travel to the future a little bit. Okay, so is there anything exciting you're working on and you want to share with us so that we can celebrate with you in advance?
Yes, I'm working on a new book with a friend, an Italian friend, about B2B companies. It will be called Industry on the Market in English, I guess, something like that. It will be in Italian firstly, and then we see. So a guide for the companies that, B2B companies, especially if they are small and medium enterprises, they don't know anything about marketing. The marketing guys are in those kind of companies, they just put together what is needed for the exhibitions, trade fairs, brochures, and nothing else. They really don't do marketing. So we are putting together a strategic guide, a step-by-step guide, where you say, okay, you are a B2B company, you don't want to know anything about marketing, it's okay, but you need to do these steps if you want to sell something, because marketing means go to the market, right? And if you don't go to the market, if you don't know the classical 4 Ps, so price, product, place, and promotion, if you don't do that, you don't go to the market, you don't sell. You may don't want to call it marketing, okay, it's okay, but you need to do that. So that will be a step-by-step guide for these kind of companies. And also I am very into AI, I mean generative AI. I think that the world of creators is going to change very fast. I mean, you are now doing these interviews. In a few months, I think you will be able to do these interviews without the people. So just with a digital echo. Most of the people call it avatar, but I prefer to call them digital echo, because they are an echo of our real people. And I want to write something about that, so to how creators will have now, but will have more in the future, the possibility to create something new, to share content without even be there. So now is already happening, but it's going to be more in the future. And this, of course, brings with it a lot of opportunities, but also a lot of risks. For example, about privacy, about using people's face, like is happening now with Grok, without their consent. So and also fake news. So how do you know that this guy is doing this stuff really, or it is just a fake news? Because you can already now you can put together a fake news about anyone, and it looks real. So I think it's something to think about.
Beautiful, beautiful. The last question about this conversation today, and this is the time that we travel time to the past one last time, okay? And I was trying to think in the timeline where to bring you with, but I would love to bring you into that seminar, the event in 2017, when you try every single way with the journalist badge, so that you can have a chance to talk to Philip. All right. So, assuming that the lady, that pregnant, 7-month pregnant lady, refused to talk to Gabrielle or to support you to have a chance to talk to Philip, what would you do?
Well, I would try to reach him by email,
Ah.
and I would try the next year.
Mhm.
You know, email with some kind of people try to use the email is easier. It was easy back in the days without social media. Now it's difficult because you can find anyone on social media on LinkedIn or Instagram. I tried to reach some actors. I tried to reach Bill Gates for a comment for our book. I finally happened to write to the foundation, and they brought me back that it was not possible. But by email, I think it's still easier than social media, or of course in presence if the event it's not that big. And I happened also to have an interview with Fritz. I don't remember his full name, but it is the FBI agent that catched Unabomber in the US back in the 90s. I watched a movie on Netflix because there is a TV series about Unabomber, and the actor is the same of Avatar. So it's kind of a famous TV series. And I watched that on Netflix, and I said, "Oh, this guy might be still alive." So I looked on the internet, and I found his website, which it was, because it was, I don't know, 2015, I guess. It was all the WordPress website with the email. I just emailed him, and I told me, okay, so the TV series, I would like to have an interview with you. And he was living actually in Italy for 2 days in Tuscany, so he was happy to get in touch with an Italian after years, and so we had this very interesting interview. He was the FBI agent who catched Unabomber, who helped catch Unabomber, creating a new kind of investigation field, which is called I don't know how it is in English, but he could recognize Unabomber by what he was writing. So that teaches us that how we write is so personal, that is the same personal as fingerprints. So you can be recognized by what you write as you can recognize by fingerprints. It was fascinating.
Wow. Wow. I say I asked you the last question, but you seem so curious about everything in life, right? So I'm curious to know where your curiosity comes from. Share with us the secrets.
Well, I don't know. I'm just curious about things. Well, I wasn't very good at school because I could learn by listening, which was enough. At the, we call it the average school, what is before the high school, that is enough. You learn, you listen, and then you learn, and it's easy. Then you go to high school and you need to read books and repeat, because at least in Italy the system is like you need to repeat exactly what is written in the book, more or less. So it's not like you can just listen and repeat. You need to study. And it's not my business. I cannot do that. What I can do is read and make my point of view on what I read. And if you do that with history, it's not going to work. If you do that with philosophy, it's going to work. If you do that with marketing or any other business topic, it's going to work. So I read books to create my point of view. And when something happens in my brain and say, okay, this is interesting, then I need to go straight to the point. So if I find something good in a book, then I buy other books to understand if that is true, or to go deepen in the concept. And this is why to study civil economy, I bought some books from the 70th century, some very old books. They don't keep together, but in a few pages I found what I needed. So I tried to go and look for everything I need.
Wow, beautiful. And I really hope that whoever listens to this conversation will be able to find the insight that you share be useful for them, so that they can ignite the curiosity inside of them, right? And that curiosity, if combined with the tools that you provide in the books, the ideas that you provide in the book, and then if they can magnify it and use it into their daily operations, imagine how the world, how prosperous the world will be, you know, and how great the planet will be. Okay, so Gabriel, thanks a lot for spending your afternoon
Thank you.
sharing, and I'll share with you the link to co-share it with us in celebration of your book written with Philip, and congratulations. Thank you for writing it. Thank you for bringing your ideas to the world and to have the people, you know, becoming more knowledgeable about enlightened management. Okay.
Yes, let me close with two last things. The first one is everything that we get from the book. So all the proceeds from this book, Enlightened Management, they go to the Rotary Foundation. So the book itself is an action for the common good. And about curiosity, I think curiosity is the radiant key that unlocks hidden words, guiding our mind through uncharted path of knowledge and possibility. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.